days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, you give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.
Caitlin Clark didn't make the Olympic team. You got everybody from Nikki Haley to everybody screaming. And I was really surprised at, I just shouted out Doris Burke. Doris Burke, really? Really, ma'am? Christine Brennan, who, as a sports starting in my career in sports, I looked up to her as somebody who, made some sense out here saying in all of her 30 years, this is the most egregious. And I'm like, no, it's not. Actually, Candace Parker not making the team is way more egregious than this. She was an actual superstar. Caitlin Clark hasn't elevated her team with all of her greatness to win. Okay.
That's
I think, what do they have? 2 victories out of, and if you want to talk about the schedule, she that good. Why aren't they 8-0 or 9-0? Like, stop playing in our faces. So there's something else going on here. And I feel like it's racial. And now they're dragging Dawn Staley into it. Like she got something to do with it, even though she was on the committee to select the teams, but it was based on merit. And they're calling it racism, Don Calloway.
Yeah. I mean, you have to remember a couple of things. First of all, let's just start with the basic truth that Caitlin Clark is not among the 12 best American women basketball players to send to the Paris Olympics. She's simply objectively not that. Second thing is you're putting together a basketball team based upon position and chemistry and the grand alchemy of what's needed to win these team games. It is not like the men's game, which has transitioned almost to a positionless hybrid amoeba of what we used to, as compared to the basketball I grew up in, where you had a distinct 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 position. The women's game has not transitioned to that yet. So you're looking for distinct positions, and Caitlin Clark plays a backcourt spot. Maybe I could accept her playing a 3 swing position, but the reality of the matter is that if you look at the 3 best point guards, 2 guards, and 3 spots, Caitlin Clark is not in that top 9 players, such that there was not a position for her, even if she was considered among the top 20 who would get in. So these teams are put together by professionals. USA Basketball has cultivated out of Arizona over the last 40 years, since 1992, when we started professionalizing and taking this thing seriously. USA Basketball is an extraordinarily sophisticated organization from a business perspective, as well as from a basketball science perspective. And Caitlin Clark didn't make the cut. If you could potentially get my ear for a moment if you just wanted to talk about the straight up commercial accruity of having a Caitlin Clark there, having her, in Paris on the Olympic team, how many jerseys you sell, all that. Sure, she's the biggest star in the game. She's the biggest personality in the game, but she is not one of the top 12 players in the game. And so from a basketball perspective, it's very hard to criticize this decision whatsoever.
Period. Now, the USA national team, they had a training camp where players were invited. She was invited, but she was playing in the NCAAs and did not show up to the invitation playoff to even, participate in this number 2, 3, and 4. But to your point, Don, everything that you said is correct. Who would you remove from the team? I'm going to name the team, and if it's not racism, because Breanna Stewart is melanemic. Diana Taurasi is melanemic. I believe Kelly Plum melanemic? I need to go through the list. Sabrina Ionescu.
Kelly Plum and Sabrina Ionescu are white women.
Or melanemic. So you got 4 to 12. Kelsey, I'm sorry, Smith. Look, I don't even know who the damn woman is. I apologize, Kelsey Plum. Oh, I know who Kelsey Plum is. She's the one that they thought was Puerto Rican who just lost. Yes, that girl freaking threw a T-shirt into the damn last row in an arena. Okay.
Yes, okay. She did.
Stop playing. Like Kelsey.
Well,
yeah,
and
Kelsey
I think
is no joke. Yeah.
It's important to recognize that Angel Reese is also not there. Skylar Diggins is also not there. There are extremely popular people of color, black players, who are also not on the team. It's not a popularity contest. USA basketball is trying to go over that thing and win gold medals. That's what this is
Again.
about. Nobody wants nobody wants a repeat of 2004. There was a reason why you had to have a redeemed team. Nobody wants us going over there getting bronzes or anything short of gold. Really is a failure.
Well, one could argue. I mean, you're damned if you do. You put her on a team and she doesn't play because who you sitting? Breonna Stewart?
Who you sitting?
Who you sitting? Well, Brittany Griner's on the team, of course. She can't play her position. She's not 6'7".
Yeah. No,
Asia Wilson, who is the best player in the entire league, MVP.
Asia Wilson may be the best player in the history of the league by the time it's all said and done. If anything, you could potentially argue that Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner are getting Lifetime Achievement Awards for being recognized here. Particularly, I mean, they're both.
No, Diana Taurasi just dropped 30 last night. What are you doing?
I'm sure she had an amazing game, but is she top 5 at her position? I don't know that she is. I mean, look.
Well, what she is a winner.
She's a winner.
If you are playing for Germany, you don't want to see Diana Taurasi out there. She will bite you. If she has to, that woman would do anything to win.
And that's part of the alchemy. That is absolutely part of the alchemy. And again, you know, who you gonna sit? The proven veteran winner of 20 years for Caitlin Clark? Absolutely not. Basketball is about experience. So, you know, I just have a very difficult time dealing with all the incoming on Caitlin Clark. And again, much like Barack Obama, ain't no hate for Caitlin Clark in my heart, but she was not a good fit for this Olympic team. And we've kind of gone a bit overboard with the sweetheartedness if we really want to argue that she was. And I love Doris Burke, but that's just, she was off point on this one.
Yeah, I agree. Smith, do we have Caitlin Clark even saying that she was okay with the team that
yes,
that was
she
picked?
did.
And before okay, I know I sent that too, but play what Reggie Miller said, because I think if anybody, Reggie Miller, who grew up in the household with Cheryl Miller, who used to beat the brakes off of him on a regular, I think he has a bird's eye understanding of women's basketball that many of us would not even have. Play what Reggie Miller said.
The women's game is getting the well-earned news coverage that it's always been. I've known this for years because I grew up in it. The women's game, they're just straight ballers. Right? Yeah. And first of all, what did you expect was going to happen to her? Number one, I don't think it's jealousy. Oh my God, she's getting all the endorsements. We're going to go after her. You're playing at the highest level. You're playing in the WNBA. You're coming from college and you're going to the pro ranks, right? What did she expect was going to happen? Why are people so shocked, right? You're playing against grown women. The same thing happened to us as rookies, right? Going against MJ, they're out there trying to embarrass you, right? It's nothing personal, right? It's just the level between college. First of all, you go from high school, and it's a learning curve when you go to college. And then from college, when you go to the highest level, it's going to be a learning curve. There's only so many rookies that's ever been successful.
And even she said, she was interviewed, of course, and this is like, it must be tough. If I'm Asia Wilson, I'm like, I just won. I know I went and Usher allowed me to dance on the stage, and he said, "There goes my baby," and he was right there in my face, gyrating and stuff, and that was great. We got to be on stage, and I was an MVP, and I know I'm the best player in the league, and I'm amazing. But you know, it must feel so. I would feel some ways about this. I will be honest. It wouldn't be jealousy. It would be like, what the F, right? But okay, we get it. We need these people, and I'm glad that she's bringing the attention because there's going to be more money, charter planes, all of that. That's awesome. Here's what she said about not being selected.
Caitlin, what was your reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level?
Let's start it. And guess what? Hopefully she'll be around. You know, again, Candace Parker is the most egregious being left off of the team that I can in modern history. This is not egregious. This is not egregious.
It's not
866.
egregious at all. And the same people who think Caitlin Clark should be on it are the sons and daughters of the people who had no problem with Christian Laettner taking Shaq or anybody else's spot in 1992. But if anything else, I don't really know much else about this, but I'll say, if we wanted to have Caitlin, if we needed to have Caitlin, there's a 3-on-3 team, and I don't see why she couldn't have been on that. Matter of fact, it seems like her game is well tailored to a half-court 3-on-3 game, and it seems like she could have been included there.
Okay.
That's it. I don't know.
All right. All right. Go to Daryl in Tennessee because I'm not litigating the back and forth. Daryl, hey,
right.
Welcome.
Hey, what's happening? So, on Caitlin Clark, first of all, it's not like I'm a strong fan, but because I enjoyed it when LSU thumped her last year or the year before, and then Don Daly them in USC whooping them last year. However, she has a fan base, and WNBA, the WNBA is a business. I compared to Tiger Woods when Tiger first came on the scene. He started whooping tail in golf. All of the white cats was like, man, we don't know what's going on with this brother right here. All the brothers was like, damn, Tiger is kicking butt. And he winning at this white dude's game. Okay. It's kind of flipped a little bit with Caitlin.
She's not winning, Daryl. She's not winning. I just read the stats. She's not the leading scorer. She's not the leading three-point shooter. I think she's second in assists, but her team is losing. She's not in the top 20 best player, period. She's not winning to even make that argument. It's not like Tiger Woods, who was killing it. She's not killing it at the pro level.
Well, I wasn't comparing the styles, but what I'm talking about from a business standpoint.
Hold on again. We're talking about the Olympics. We're talking about the Olympics, not the WNBA. The Olympics is about not necessarily business. Now, it's great marketing, but this is about gold, bringing home the gold. This is not about a business venture. This is about winning the gold medal for the United States of America.
The WNBA players playing in the Olympics, they're going to get gold no matter what.
It's not a given.
That's not true.
Stop. Oh, my God. You don't know what you're talking about.
You could very easily fall into a space where you have a 2000, 2004 situation in which we think, the best players are in the NBA. Let's just jam them all together in some star power. We're going to win gold. That's not going to happen. We didn't win it in 2000. We didn't win it in 2004. And USA basketball has clamped down in a very real way. Part of this is also recognizing that the world is catching up with America, specifically in a basketball context. So these Olympics ain't the place to test that. This is not G League competition if you want to be analogous with the NBA. This is the best players in the world. If you look at who the best players in the world in the NBA were this season, you have no Americans in the top 5 with maybe the exception of Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? So the world has caught up to America in terms of basketball. And it would be crazy to think that is not the case in the women's game as well. So the Olympics ain't no place to play. And I don't see, like I said from the beginning, look at those 12. If y'all want to call up here and debate this is not my show. But I'm willing to go toe-to-toe with anybody on this. But please lead with whose spot on that roster would she have taken from a basketball perspective, not the business, who's the most popular player perspective.
Arthur in Missouri, welcome. Hi.
Hey, thanks. I'll keep it strictly to basketball, like you said. Well, the first person's spot she would take would be Diana Taurasi. She's leading in every statistical category over Diana: scoring, rebounds, assists, and steals.
Hold on. Do you play basketball?
Yes, I've played before.
Okay. So basketball is a 5-person. It's not a 1-person. It's a team sport. There are intangibles. It's like saying Draymond Green shouldn't have started on the Golden State Warriors team. I think he's absolute trash. I can't stand him. But I cannot deny his contribution to those championships because there's an enforcer thing, which Caitlin Clark is not going to bring. Diana Taurasi may clothesline somebody. She just might. There are elements to basketball, and there's chemistry. To Don's point, all of these players, all of these teams play together. You're throwing 12 women that don't play on the same team and they got a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two to get it together. When you're going up against teams that have played together for years, this is not a slam dunk. It's not a slam dunk.
I mean, you guys are making it seem like, we're sending our B team. Like our women's basketball team, they're the most dominant in all the sports. They're not losing. We can send our B team and they're not losing. So
no, that's not true, man. That's not true.
You don't sound like you study women's basketball at all.
Have you been watching the women's game for the last 12 years?
I have. You're asking me?
When have they come close?
You're asking me?
When have they come close?
In the last 20 years, they lost.
But again,
20 years ago.
If you take the men's game as an analogy, the moment you just go for star power and don't look at chemistry, then you're cruising for a bruising in international competition. Look, I mean, there's a reason that Drew Holiday is on the Olympic men's team this year, and Drew Holiday could walk down the street in most major cities unrecognized by the masses. He is not a star, but he's a chemistry guy. And Diana Taurasi brings that leadership and experience element that you need in these Olympics.
I would prefer to have Diana Taurasi over Caitlin Clark. But let me make a correction because I was following Don's lead and I knew I should have checked the facts. The women's basketball team has been the most dominant and successful team in the world, to the brother's point. So, but it only takes one time. I think Mike Tyson, we didn't think he could be beaten till Buster Douglas busted his ass. And we can blame Robin Givens if you want to. But last time they lost was 1992, Don, not 2000. 1992. So it has been a long time since the women.
The men last lost in 2000.
Okay, yeah, but the women have not lost. Yes. To his point, you could put Caitlin Clark on the team and probably not lose. But then the point that you're raising is who deserves to sit home. If this is Diana Taurasi at 41, her last hurrah, Caitlin Clark has more years ahead of her, right? Do you deny Diana Taurasi that, that next Olympic when she's not discernibly less of a player, and one would argue she's a better player because when they went head to head, by the way, Diana Taurasi and her team shut down Caitlin Clark. So so if they did it, what would other teams do? Y'all, this is so weird. You know what's weird?
This is weird, and that's what I'm asking. It's really weird, and I'm wondering, why do we want Caitlin on there so bad? Like, why are we on these airwaves today, caping for Caitlin? And I don't exactly understand what is in our hearts and our core right now that just feels the need to cape for Caitlin Clark. I'm asking.
Weird. This to me feels weird to me. It feels so crazy that I could see what could happen in November. Like this is one of those, something is shifted inside, and it's what are y'all doing?
It feels strange, y'all. What are we doing?
All right, let me get some. Susan in North Carolina. Maybe there's some. This is interesting. Hi, I thought this was a no-brainer. I thought it was a no-brainer. Of course, you shouldn't be on the team. Hey, Susan.
Hi, Karen and Don. I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener.
Welcome.
Thank you. I found Urban View through listening to the Black Eagles, the late, great Joe Madison.
Yes.
And I just wanted to comment on Caitlin Clark and the U.S. Olympic team. Because based on the games that she's played so far, she's not played better than any of the guards that were selected on that team, nor some of the ones that weren't selected. And they talked about how, even Gino Auriemma talked about how she's not built yet, like right now, she's not built for the physicality of the WNBA. And the international game is actually even more physical. They play with a different ball than what they play. It's a different size ball than what they play with in the WNBA or in the NCAA. All of those things are things that she hasn't experienced to the level of all of these other players. And the fact that, outside of the U.S., they support women's basketball. They always have. That's the reason why they went overseas to make their money. So they, the world wants to see good basketball, even if the U.S., some people in the U.S., just want to talk about this one player who hasn't proven herself yet.
That's the rational opinion, Susan, which means I would love for you to call back because we need reason. We need reason, not emotion. And when you start off with, I don't really know much, I haven't really followed, but you got strong opinions. That makes me nervous. It feels like, I did my research with the elections. I can't vote for so-and-so because I don't know much about politics, but I just can't.
Yeah. What worries me is that I'm starting to see a through line here that we are so susceptible to celebrity.
You gotta repeat that. You gotta repeat that because
we are so susceptible to celebrity.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, you give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.